90-Day Fiancé star Shekinah on Sarper's behavior towards her friend Dan. Shekinah is in a weird spot right now with Sarper, her fiancé, who had come all the way from Turkey to live with her on 90-Day Fiancé. Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. I hope you are well. If you like the video, please subscribe and stay tuned for new videos. The biggest issue is her friend Dan, who seems to be getting into their relationship quite often. The trouble is, Sarper is uncomfortable with Dan being friends with his girl and wants him to back off. He and Shekinah have dated in the past, however, she has made it clear that she did not have feelings for him at all, and thus broke up, and now they are just pals. They share a friend group, and with everything that Sarper is putting him against, it is causing a tough situation in her social life, which is not acceptable to Shekinah. The latest developments on 90-Day Fiancé suggest that Shekinah is upset over how Sarper, during his comedy show, decided to include Dan in a joke and disrespect him. There are just 28 days left for their wedding, and this unsure footing is causing them to lose trust in each other. Shekinah, describing how he feels about the situation, said during a confessional, "It's so annoying that Sarper still can't handle me telling him directly what I need him to do. It's just a control thing, like he wants to feel in control, and when someone's telling him what they need him to do, he feels like he's being controlled." When they came from the comedy show that Sarper had taken part in and delivered a monologue, Shekinah was angry that he would disrespect her friend Dan like that. She said in a 90-Day Fiancé confessional, "He can't just come to LA and blow up my friend group, because that affects my life here too." However, Sarper has his reasons. He feels like Shekinah should not be friends with a person whom she has dated in the past. She replies by saying that Dan and she never had physical intimacy, which did not complicate anything. Sarper still did not budge and said that he feels as if Dan does not have good intentions towards Shekinah and is trying to play the victim. Later in the 90-Day Fiancé episode, we see that he went over to Dan's house to discuss things. Given the fact that he is in the United States right now, Sarper cannot engage in any physical combat or else he will be deported. The two men talk about the whole thing. Later in the episode, we see that he went over to Dan's house to discuss things. Given the fact that he is in the United States right now, Sarper cannot engage in any physical combat or else he will be deported. The two men talk about the whole thing, with Dan throwing some mean comments, such as how their marriage was not going to last. Sarper maintained his cool throughout and told the cameras, "I mean, he is walking around dangerous territory, but in the US standard, I cannot give what he deserves. And the only thing that keeping me cool and cold right now, thinking Shekinah, because if I do anything wrong, I can be deported." At the end, they decided to be better towards each other and call it even, but this does not mean that the Cold War between the two men has ended yet. 90-Day Fiancé's Stevie Nicole finally reveals real reason kids are not on the show amid speculation. Stevie Nicole from 90-Day Fiancé is finally speaking out and answering questions fans have had since her debut, especially about her kids. The 37-year-old artist from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, met Maudie online while teaching him English. Maudie moved from Tehran, Iran, to the US on a K-1 visa to be with her. However, Stevie's unconventional lifestyle has been a shock to him. From painting nudes to rumors about her sexuality, Maudie suspects Stevie might be bisexual. While their relationship raises eyebrows on season 11, many viewers are focused on the mystery surrounding the two children Stevie mentioned in her intro. Stevie may have mentioned her kids just once on the show, but she's now sharing details about them that are quite surprising to her fans. Stevie used Instagram to answer a few questions about why fans don't get to see her children on TV, along with details about who they are. Stevie added that, unlike the fans who think her children are 5 and 6 years old, her kids are grown, and she had them very young. While Stevie did not share their exact ages, she mentioned they're much older than 5 and 6. Stevie revealed she decided not to put her kids on TV on her own, as she thought it was right for them. The world is not always kind, and I want to protect the most precious things to me. Stevie has also seen fans talk about how her children don't have their own rooms at her house. While Stevie lives in a 3-bedroom house, she thought it was weird to give the cameras a tour of her kids' rooms if they were not a part of the show. Stevie's daughter doesn't watch the show because she sees her mother every day. Meanwhile, her son couldn't care less about reality TV, since he works outside all day with horses as a farmhand. Stevie's kids also like Maddie because they want what's best for their mother. In episode 1 of 90 Day Fiancé season 11, Stevie Nicole mentioned she had 2 children while explaining that painting alone didn't pay the bills, which led her to teach English online as well. However, once Maddie moved into her home, her kids were noticeably absent. Considering Maddie was going to be living with them, fans were quick to question why no introduction between Maddie and the children was shown on screen. While Maddie was seen meeting Stevie's friends and other family members, her son and daughter never appeared, leaving viewers curious about their whereabouts and role in her life. However, Stevie, now saying that her kids are old enough to have their own lives, suggests they may not be interested in being part of her 90 Day Fiancé storyline. While they reportedly get along with Maddie, who had even been sending them gifts before meeting them in person, they may prefer to keep their opinions about their potential stepfather off camera. It also seems Stevie has chosen to keep them out of the public eye, taking a similar approach to co-star Tigger Lily Taylor, who also kept her sons away from the spotlight during Before the 90 Days Season 7. Stevie has spoken out against 90 Day Fiancé viewers who criticize cast members, whether they include their kids on camera or not. She pointed out the double standard, noting that while some are judged for featuring their children, she's judged for keeping hers off-screen. Stevie has made it clear that she wants fans to focus on her storyline and leave her son and daughter out of it. Since her kids support her relationship with Maddie, their presence isn't essential to the plot. Ultimately, Stevie says she's simply protecting their identities from unwanted attention and harsh online commentary. 90 Day Fiancé Sarper confronts Shekinah's ex Dan and warns he's not backing down. With less than a month until their wedding, 90 Day Fiancé's Sarper Govan took a direct approach to settle ongoing tension with Shekinah Garner's ex-boyfriend and friend Dan. The conflict, which intensified after Sarper publicly mocked Dan during a comedy performance, led to a face-to-face confrontation. Sarper emphasized his determination, stating in a 90 Day Fiancé confessional, 90 Day Fiancé Sarper confronts Shekinah's ex Dan and warns he's not backing down. With less than a month until their wedding, 90 Day Fiancé's Sarper Govan took a direct approach to settle ongoing tension with Shekinah Garner's ex-boyfriend and friend Dan. The conflict, which intensified after Sarper publicly mocked Dan during a comedy performance, led to a face-to-face confrontation. Sarper emphasized his determination, stating in a 90 Day Fiancé confessional, "I mean, right now, if he comes to me, I will go twice." His meeting with Dan was not only to fulfill Shekinah's request, but also to personally address the strain Dan's presence had placed on his relationship. Sarper visits Dan to settle unresolved tension. Sarper arrived at Dan's residence, where the interaction began with polite but tense exchanges. Dan greeted him by referring to his home as his castle, but Sarper made it clear he was not there for a tour, and stated he didn't come to look at Dan's house. The purpose of the visit was clear. Sarper wanted a serious discussion, not a tour. The conversation quickly shifted to the impact Dan's relationship with Shekinah had on Sarper's dynamic with her. "Okay, we are getting so childish. Shekinah told me, don't be immature, okay? The thing that I want from you, bro, please but please respect," Sarper said. He explained that his comments during the comedy show were intended as a revenge. Dan, however, responded critically, stating, "Your stand-up comedy, that just showed like how insecure and jealous person you are." Sarper accused Dan of causing issues between him and Shekinah, explaining that they had been arguing because of Dan's involvement. Dan disagreed and placed the blame on Sarper instead. Sarper then clarified that he had asked Shekinah to distance herself from Dan and no longer include him in her life, but she did not accept this request. He emphasized that he told her not to see you again. Tensions escalated as Sarper addressed the nature of Dan and Shekinah's past. He brought up that, according to Shekinah, Dan had dated her 3 times and that they had shared a kiss. Dan did not deny it and indicated maybe more. Sarper expressed frustration, saying, "You are making me crazy, bro, you are pushing the limits." Dan responded by justifying his approach to dating and relationships, explaining that in America, dating multiple people is normal and simply how it works. Sarper challenged Dan's self-image and intentions within the social group. In a 90-day fiancé confessional, he said, "He loves the attention. He wants to be the only guy in the social group. And if he sees another guy who is more dominant than him, he is triggered." Sarper then made it clear he was not going to retreat, stating again, "If he wants to play it like this, I'm here. I don't care what their friends group will say." Sarper emphasized that he was acting not only on Shekinah's concerns, but also for his own peace of mind. "Shekinah wanted me to solve the situation with them, and I want to solve it for my own sake too," he said. Dan acknowledged the unusual nature of the meeting, but stated in a 90-day fiancé confessional, "That was kind of a surprise for Sarper to reach out to me. I'm still open to listen what he has to say." As the interaction concluded, Sarper reiterated that he saw Dan as a continued disruption. His position remained unchanged, and his stance was unwavering. The confrontation showed Sarper was not stepping aside quietly.